Hello again, all my lovelies. This is Sonar Wave with another review, and today we are looking at the smooth talking, music loving head of Autobot Special Operations himself, Jazz. Now, before I do get into it, for those living in Australia, the Kingdom line has started showing up at shops. Primarily, I think it's Kmart and Target at the moment. However, if you're not having any luck with them and you haven't ordered them through EB Games or Zing, Toy World might be your best bet. They are starting to show up on the website there, along with the Studio Series 86 line. So it's possible we'll be seeing another release of them in regular stores again very soon. For those who have missed out on either the wave the first time or certain members of the wave, I don't know if we'll see Grimlock. So you're probably better to try and get him from Toy World or from Zing or EB Games or another Australian-based store if you can. The other option is to try trusted sellers from local Transformers groups. I personally go through Daniel UN, who runs Playground Zero. He's taken very good care of me since I first started buying things from him. And he always gives me a fair price, and he's always been pleasant to deal with. So yeah, that would be my recommendation for Grimlock. I don't know if we'll see him, and if we do, it may possibly be the I think it's July. Big W has a big toy sale, and we may see him then, like we did with Studio Series Jetfire and Skylinks and I think it was one of the Studio Series Megatrons that we've missed out on as well. So we just don't get a lot of the leader class here because they're not as cheap. They are more expensive, so that can throw people off. But anyway, those are my suggestions. Toy World or another reputable Australian-based seller, or even trusted sellers off the Transformers groups based here in Australia. I do recommend Playground Zero. Daniel's a good friend of mine, and he gives you a fair go. He will try his very best to get what you're looking for. Sometimes it may take a while, but he's come through for me so far. So yeah, but this is Studio Series Jazz. Now, the only jazzes I actually have are the Power the Primes jazz. That was the first one I got. I mainly got him because I didn't have jazz at all. So I do have him. I've got the animated jazz, who I love, and then of course I've got Studio Series jazz as well. I would eventually like to get, I think it's Make Toys Downbeat. He will be a part of my Masterpiece collection because there is no official Masterpiece jazz right now, so that one will be going in that collection. But this jazz, he'll sit on my shelf with all my other, with the rest of my collection. I do have the Studio Series 86 stuff displayed separately because I loved the backgrounds for them so much. I actually wanted to display them with them, which I don't normally do because they don't normally appeal to me, but I absolutely have fallen in love with these, and I opted to keep them, and I actually opted to keep the boxes, which again is a rather unusual thing for me. But Jazz comes with, I think it's a photon rifle from memory. And the reason he has the 14 on his door instead of 4, although people probably fix that themselves or toy hacks or have something for it, was licensing issues. I think there's an actual car or something with the number, and he was 14th in the Diaclone line, and when the original toy line came out for the cartoon, Jazz was labelled as the 14th Transformer toy. So it's not just a random number that they've picked. They actually chose the 14 for those reasons, because it was Jazz's original number before he was brought over from the Diaclone line. And okay, it's not accurate to his cartoon self, but it's still pretty cool that they're trying to homage his original ties that way. I do like that. The base he comes with, it's obviously a Moonbase one before Unicron decided to snack on it. I think Moonbase 2 went bye-bye as well from memory. Jazz was one of the few to not die. We did see him get rescued later on in the movie before he could be smelted down inside Unicron, and he rejoined the others. We didn't see him very much in the following season. We saw him, I think, 2 or 3 times, and none of those times he talked, and that was because his voice actor, Scatman Crothers, had sadly passed on by that time, so they decided to still do a few episodes with him in them, but yeah, he never actually talked again, which is unfortunate, but I suppose at the time they didn't want to try and replace his voice actor, so I'm not bothered by it. You know, at least we still got to see him. At least, you know, he was still there. And then he's, you know, we've seen him in a few other iterations. Obviously, he was part of the Bay movies where he was subsequently ripped in half. Which you can now do with his movie masterpiece version. There is a rumour of Sideways coming out for studio series, and I said to a friend the only reason I'd get Sideways, because I've got no real interest in the character, was so I could reenact the bit where he got sliced in half by Sideswipe, and he made this flippant comment about, you know, I wonder if that'll be a thing that they do with him like they did with movie masterpiece Jazz. I said, I don't know. They might. We'll just have to wait and see. We may not even get him yet. But now that's just a rumour. Jazz was obviously also in Transformers Animated. He was a elite guard under Ultra Magnus, and took over at the end of the series. He took over training Prowl in the art of Circuit Sue, or cyber, teaching him to be a cyber ninja, because he didn't get to finish his training originally. And then we saw him for one episode in season 1 of Robots in Disguise, 2015. And then I think 2 or 3 episodes, I want to say, for season 3. I'm not sure. And he looks like a big, heavier version of his G1 self. with the retractable visor, but he had the speakers that he could unfold and use for sonic attacks. He is also mentioned in Cyberverse. We didn't see him, but Wild Wheel did mention Jazz by name. The interesting thing is, Jazz was actually meant to be female. So that would have been interesting, as we did get to see female Skywalker temporarily as well. And yeah, so I actually would have been interested to see that. We still may. There's rumour of a season 4, and obviously the 2 TV movies coming out. There's new toys coming out as well for Cyberverse, including more Dinobots. We know a lot got thrown out of the Ark when a giant hole ripped in it, so Jazz could possibly be another one of those bots who was lost, like Wild Wheel was. Like, obviously these other Dinobots were, so we'll just have to wait and see. It was also, I think, in the Robots in Disguise 2001 toy line as well. Although he wasn't in the movie, in the show, there are a few characters who weren't in the show but did get toys. So he's had a fair bit of love and affection over the years. Toys not always been the greatest, but he has still shown up in media as well. But yeah. But I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm absolutely in love with what they've been doing, not just with the WFC line, but the new 86 line as well. Like, they've just been doing this amazing work. There's his photon rifle. I think if you look at the Power of the Primes Jazz, they're very similar to each other. Obviously, animated Jazz doesn't have one. He prefers to use cyber weapons, as does Prowl. I feel like the blue should maybe be a little bit darker myself, but I suppose if you're one of those people who enjoy doing customs, that's, you know, an easy enough fix, and, you know, everything hides away nicely and it rolls nicely. There's the feet. Unfortunately, when they're this size, you can only, you know, pull off so much in a transformation. But transforming him is relatively easy. That happens a lot. It just, as you can see, just pops back into place. Mine's prone to doing it frequently. Bleh. Sorry. But you just want to wiggle these out, pop out the toes, and you have his legs already transformed. And then you want to pop these away. They tab onto his arms. Then you're going to push the centerpiece here down and push it all the way forward. Then you're going to bring his head up. Wait. I've missed something. Just want to separate that bit. That would help, wouldn't it? Yes, yes it would. And this part here just twists around. The whole waist can turn around, but if you can, hold on to it and try to just shift the silver piece on its own. And then this bit here is going to tap into the two bits down there. So, and you want to straighten his arms out and obviously flip down his hands and turn them. Now this can be a bit tricky. This bit takes some finagling to get done, but you want to try and fold it as far in as you can. And there, you want to twirl these around just so his wheels are facing backwards. And there you have Jazz in his robot mode. The only thing I would probably want to change, I feel like his visor should be a darker blue. So I might actually end up painting that myself. Yeah, I just feel like it should be 1 or 2 shades darker than it is. But otherwise, I don't really have an issue with him. That small section of his windshield probably is my only other big issue, just because it's annoying to try and get it to do what you want, and it pops off constantly, and it's just a big pain in the ass to do. But overall, I absolutely love this version of Jazz, and I was very happy to get him. He was my top priority when I heard the 86 line was coming out. He was my big one that I wanted to get. Then I probably would have said either Scourge or Blur would have been the second one, and then I did intend to get all the others as well. I was obviously also planning to get Grimlock. I like the character. I've liked each version of him that I've seen, including the Bay version of him, but that's because I also love T-Rexes. They've always been my favourite dinosaur. Since I was a kid, I blamed Jurassic Park for that one. But that's it from me. I apologise for rambling again, but there you have the Jazzmaster himself doing it in style, as he always does. And this is Sonar Wave, reminding you to stay safe out there and stay kind, because right now the world needs that more than anything else. And I will catch you guys on the next one.